Hi folks, welcome back. Happy New Year to you all. Right, an amazing, really an amazing set of codes that all sort of stem around obviously Gwent being G-Roos, but what I'm effectively going to do is tie these up with star constellations. Now they're not necessarily in the same order in the sky as they are on the ground, but you'll see how this all works as I do it. But something else I've got that's, I say bizarre, is pretty amazing, is right in Gwent you've got Solomon's Temple. Okay, now there's even a code written in this. Okay, so the Solo is the guy, that's me. Mon, or Solomon Temple it is, the Solomon Temple is the only temple in Mon. So it's Solomon Temple. Solomon, guy Mon, and then the word temple is coded because it's telling me that basically, as far from what I can gather, that the Temple of Solomon is laid out as the Pleiades, the Pleiades ID. I'm not only telling you to ID it as Solomon's Temple, but it is, shape-wise, it's set out the same. I can't verify that. I'm no expert on stars, in truth, but I'll do my, well, it makes complete sense. But the word temple is if I make this into a template, because that's what I'm being given to do, is template of Mon. Basically, these are templates of Mon using these star codes. So it's pulling off the star constellations and as you'll see, attaching them to the names that I've already sort of pre-done on here. Just to give you a quick run, we've got the Cauldron roundabout, Chemy's inferior. If you check a map, pull up anywhere along this line, this is the A48. The Cauldron roundabout, Chemy's inferior, Cat's Ash, Langstone, Park Seymour, St Bride's Nether Went, Carrow Hill, Kyle Went, Clanmelin and Grey Hill. Grey Hill is a standing stone circle, an ancient stone circle. But this creates something incredible too. I've actually missed one there actually. There's Clanver. Discoid. Now on the surface these names just look like any other name, but as I will show you, they reveal something pretty well. Not only is it incredible that these all fit as templates, and notice the word at just confirmed, so it's guy template at Mon, so it's a template for Mon basically. For now Monmouth Shire is the old kingdom of Mon, hence Solomon's kingdom. It's also the king became, it basically went from being Siluria, or Isrulia, or Isrulia, the land of the Siluries, which is the King David, the ancient name is Siluria. Then it goes to the kingdom of Gwent, because the G went. This is where all this really ties in. So that's where I live now, in the county of Gwent, but you'll notice it's where the G went, and if you take Kyle Went, it's also where the Care went. So when the G went, the Care went, and so the place is left in ruins and it's been basically hidden up. But it's Gwent, Kyle Went, Gwent in Monmouth Shire. Well, what was the kingdom of Mon, which is obviously your kingdom of Solomon, or Solomon, and now it's been changed from the kingdom of Mon. It's basically Monmouth Shire. Monmouth Shire, yeah, you get the picture. Let's get rid of that though. I hate doing these videos, guys. I'm not going to lie, I really do not like doing videos, and I feel uncomfortable. So bear with me with it, because I know I'm not the best sometimes, and I've got to try and keep this central and down the line. But trust me, this goes off in all directions. Doesn't matter which way I go with this, and you know, everything goes to all links up. Well, as you'll see now. So I'm gonna have to scrub this off just so I can break each of these places down. But this is basically the layout. You can check this, and there are more codes than this in other places. There's honestly, it's undeniable. But let's stick with these, because these all represent star constellations. And this one in particular, Park Seymour, reveals the biblical unicorn. It mentions the unicorn, and I will read the Bible passage, the Old Testament passages that basically have been put there as to be decoded and know who the biblical unicorn is. Okay, anything I say is not. This is not an ego trip, because it still doesn't. Well, it's just. The codes say what needs saying. I don't need to, but you'll see what I mean now when we get there. Okay, so I'm going to just take this all off. Because each code is there's some substantial. Right, okay. So the first one I'm going to do is Chemi's Commander. Chemi's Inferior. This is actually the name of the place. So first and foremost, they're me keys. You know, you can see that I'm doing it MEKEYS, obviously inferior. Me keys inferior. Well, this constellation is Ursa Minor. Because this is a Rus Minor. So these are minor keys or inferior keys. These are the lesser, basically the lesser keys of Solomon. That's what they are. Bear in mind, these are all alphabet keys, as written on Marco Island, Florida. The alpha and the beta key islands. Put the two together, you get the alphabet keys. Obviously, there's more keys than that as you go along the Florida keys, but that's another story. So these are the lesser keys of Solomon, of Solomon, or Gaimon, whichever way you want to do it, but they're the lesser keys of. So Ursa Minor, the star system Ursa Minor is a Rus Minor. So it's basically, it's me keys, a Rus Minor. So I'm these are the lesser keys. They're not the major keys, the KEY, Canaan, Egypt, Yahweh, the big codes that make up the big map, but these are smaller codes within the map. Okay, so that's the first one. Right, the next one is Cat's Ash. Okay, bit of an odd one, but you'll see what it is now. Right, basically, it's this one ties with the links. The Cat's Ash. Basically, the British lynx went extinct, allegedly millions of years ago, absolute cobblers. This is all around the times of the tribes, but one way or another, the Cat's Ash, they got extinct, and it's the lynx. But this is also lynx, because it links the next three constellations and places, okay? So again, I'm going to scratch that again. Now the next one really is incredible, but I did note, well, let me show you the code first. Right, okay, so the next star constellation, I'm going to do it from the top, is Draco, the dragon. Okay, and this really does take some taking in. Okay, so Draco. Now, as bizarre as this sounds, it's around it. It basically identifies bear in mind, people automatically go in with Yahweh, and you think of this and you think, well, you know, this is too modern. Well, the reality is that he put this into a tetragrammaton, which I've already explained in a previous, and it downloads, but it's all relevant to now. And this is exactly as it sits now for me to understand, to pass on to you, to prove that Yah is real. Okay, so Draco the dragon. Okay, so the actual place that this points to is the Cauldron roundabout, which incredibly has a great big Welsh flag on the Celtic manor. Manor is actually an anagram of Roman as well, so a Celtic Roman. So it's and it's the dragon. Well, Cauldron is L Draco. The L is the code, as I've shown before, for the wee L. The big secret is the Welsh. The Welsh, so it's the wee L. The being, you know, and just to show you how deep this goes as well, we have the sacred U's. We also have the L's. This is what we've identified. And we also have the secret H, or the secret H-man, as I showed on the Spear of Destiny code, on the Melchizedek decode. So if I put all these three together, the U, the L's, and the H, you get Welsh. Just another little pointer just to show you how this all works. Okay, so we got the wee L being the L Draco, so that tells us that it's a Welsh and it's a dragon. So there's your Welsh dragon, and the flag that flies on the Celtic manor is the biggest Welsh dragon flag you'll ever see. It's enormous, and it sits just above the Cauldron roundabout. So Draco the dragon on a land, it's obviously Draco is the star system. It's the Cauldron. It identifies the Cauldron roundabout, being the Welsh, where the Welsh dragon sits, basically, and you know, Satan's flag proud and proper on there. Sorry, Welsh people, but that's what this dragon is. It's the dragon taking over from the lion. However, right, okay, so Draco again there's more to this again, because Yahshua packs a lot into these things. But what you find, what you see on there, and this will make sense now, is Draco is du arc. Okay, now I need to do the next two codes now, just to show you, before I can show you what it arcs to. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is Langstone. And as I showed, I think I've shown this on, yeah, I did on another video, a previous video. This actually is an anagram of note slang. Okay, because the next place along, Park Seymour, where this all connects together, and this is where the links comes in, because you link all three. But this is a big one, Park Seymour, so. Right, okay, so Langstone, note slang. Well, this star constellation is Hercules, which we always assume is to do with, I don't know, with strength and everything else, but in actual fact it's Hercules. It's the earth giving up Hercules. And I make a point that don't go worshipping the earth. This is not about, the earth is not a literal woman, but it's obviously it's the her, it's the female, but she's giving up her clue. So Hercules is her clues, Langstone note slang. So that's the clue. Her clue is to note the earth's clue. Her clue is to note the slang on the next decode. Okay, the next decode. Right. Okay. Now this is where, again, like I say, this is where the links of Cat's Ash links these three together. Okay, Park Seymour. Well, firstly, yes. Oh, sorry. Yep. This is the anagram. You can do it yourself. It's yep. Marco Roos. Okay. But there's a lot more to this. I'm going to need to clear this, but you see, so got Draco the dragon, the cauldron, this is the cauldron to roundabout, and the use of the word roundabout in the Old Testament is astounding. I actually realised that when these things are put in there over and over, even though they're used in different contexts, like my enemies compass me about, or my enemies roundabout, and the amount of times roundabout actually appears in there, and the same as like the when everything is seven is G. And it's also in relation to the river Severn, but it's also the main thing is the letter G. Obviously, you could almost say the Bible is the land of where it's the book of where G went, or Gwent, the book of Gwent. And when you know that Old Testament, they've taken the G went off the Old Testament as well, because it should be it should say Gold Testament. They took the G off to make a new one. But it's also, as well as being testament, testament is an anagram of statement. So a gold statement, and I'm not sure this is the entirety of it, but it's the book of, basically the holy book of the G went, where the G went, or the holy book of Gwent. There's probably more to it than that, because there's so much more of this that links together. It's untrue, but. So we got Cat's Asher, we got the Draco the dragon, being the cauldron, her clues, note slang, Mother Earth giving up clues at Lankstone. Then you got a Park Seymour, Yet Marco Roos. Now this is where it gets really crazy. Right. I believe, again, I keep saying this, but I don't want people, I'm more surprised than anyone that these things keep appearing, believe me, but it is what it is, and it's there. So I can only give the codes, but I guess this is the way to show you by them being there. I'm not having to tell you anything. This is telling you itself. Right. Okay. So what is Park Seymour? Right. Let's do it from the top. And this is where it gets really bizarre. Okay. Park Seymour is monoceros. Get the spelling right. So we've got monoceros, which incredibly is called the unicorn Mon. Okay, so that's the star constellation, that's the name of the place. Now this is where Draco comes in, and the do arc, because do arc what, and the links what. We've got the slang tone, but it also links the do arc is an instruction. So we've got so Draco is do arc. So what should we get? Do arc. Okay. So what we're going to arc? Well, we're going to arc monoceros. And this is, I know this is going to be bizarre, but when you see what it brings up, is it I don't know what it is, incomprehensible almost. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to arc monoceros. Okay. And as you can see, you've got Marco Ceros. Right. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. I missed mono. No, Ceros, my apologies. Okay, right, so we've got Marco, and then we've got RECON, recon. Okay, so we've got Marco, recon. Well, in the Wise Code of Solomon as well, if you remember when I did it, it's Wales, which gives you the seal, the sail, and everything else, because S-E-A-L is the seal, so that's the seal of Solomon. But then you get the message. We underline that one because that's where the seal is. Ireland, Scotland, and England. Now you take the message down the middle, which is R-E-C-O-N-G, which is Recon G. Okay, so now we've not only got Park Seymour Monoceros Marco, so we've got the constellation breaks down to So Marco Recon using Draco and the Duarc, which is why the links is there as well, because not only is it the extinct cat, it links all three together. And then you've got the slang beforehand telling, right, let's get onto back to this, right, so Marco Recon, then what are we reconning? So then the code in Solomon's Recon is Recon G. Okay, and bear in mind as well, this all started when I noticed that Mount Sinai was actually Mount Sinai and a B Recon beacon. So as well as these, you've also got what started all this off is the B Recon beacon, or the Brecon beacon, that Moses followed to get to the get to the Mount Sinai. The Sinai was the beacon shining on the top of the mountain, basically on the Brecon beacons. So Marco Recon G. So we've got B Recon beacon, so Marco Recon, Recon G, and then obviously then you've got Park Seymour. After you've got your slang tone is, yep, Marco Roos. When you put it together, obviously you get the G Roos, which is the decoded G Jerusalem or Cohen, where I actually live. So look, you've got to tell me how this is possible. You know, so basically, right, so there we go, we've got Monoceros anyway, so let's move on to the next one. Well, there's so much more I could fill in between these. Right, okay. Oh, so, and we also know that Monoceros is the unicorn Mon. So who is the unicorn Mon? I clearly must be the biblical unicorn in Mon, and this is what the code means. Right, which one? Right, okay. Let's do St. Bride's Never Went. So the next one we'll do is St. Bride's Never Went. Okay, so Nether Went is, bear with me, Nether Went is, then we are 10. So the St. Bride's it, then we are 10, so the 10 lost tribes. Okay, and this is the same because this goes to Coent, which is we are 10. All I do is drop the E in off the fix on E of the Phoenix, and we got CBR 10, so we actually connect, then we are 10, CBR 10. But this one, the constellation for this one is actually Centaurus. Okay, so C10, AU is the chemical symbol for gold, you know, the G of old, whichever. C10 gold and Roos. This all comes down to, again, the treasures of heaven of being gold. So we've got C10, so Centaurus is C10, so C10 gold Roos, then we are 10. So it's telling you that we are the 10 tribes, the 10 tribes of gold, the gold of Jerusalem. Okay, well, the gold is a real gold find for me. I'll pass it on to you. Okay, next one. Right, to do. Right, I'm going to leave the real complicated one till last. Right. Firstly, on the next one, which is Carrow Hill. Now, this mind-blowing. Okay, so we've got Carrow Hill. Right, first thing, see Arrow Hill. This will become apparent now when I create Orion's bow made up of of 3 landmarks. Okay, so see Arrow Hill. Right, on the big map, which I still need to break down, but it's trying to find somewhere I can do this. I could really do with some help. Anybody professional that could help me with this and really get this message out and give me the place and the equipment to do it and film it correctly. You know, obviously I would really appreciate it, because this is a message for humanity. Right, Carrow Hill. Right, firstly, the first bow is the big map has a bow on it, and it's made up of the initial KEY. Right, it comes with a message as well. This is absolutely incredible. Actually, just angle that. What's that? So roughly how it up. This is awfully poor, but this basically is the holy head of Wales. Right, this is. Right, firstly, you've got Canaan, Egypt, Yahweh or Judea, whichever way you want to do it. But Judea is Wales, Canaan is England, which is actually Swindon, okay, which is also Wind's Nod. This is the land of Nod that Cain went out of. Cain went out of from when he got chucked out of the where Adam and Eve lived, and he was sent into Canaan and out to the land of Nod. Well, this is where the Nod comes from. Swindon. Words with Don on is Nod in reverse, and that's what it is. But this is where I win the Nod. But that's just another story. Okay, so we've got Canaan, so we've got Egypt, but the obvious point for Egypt is Exeter. So obviously where they come out of biblical Egypt being Cornwall, the land of the fair rose, or the fair corn rose, with the corn road hair. This is all about hair, but ironically, and I don't have much of it, but it makes it all the more fun. Right, but so we've got Yahweh, Judea, whichever. Okay, so we not only have the KEY, so we've got a key, but then we've got a YES. So there's a message now. But we've also then got, when you combine this, is SEEK. Okay, this is where it gets crazy again with all these coordinates. Right, the bow this is actually made up. The bow is made up from port, right, it's made up of, ironic, this is as weird as it is, and I don't even know why, well, I just got guided to do this, but the first thing is, the first point of it is Port Talbot, which is bolt at port. Okay, when this is basically a giant artillery piece, an ordnance of Moses, but I'll come into that. This is all on the map of Wales and Cornwall. This is absolute rubbish, but you get the picture. I don't know, something along them lines. This is all out of sync, as I say. So, in fact, it's terribly out of sync, because that should be there. Right, this line, the port I bolt at is Port Talbot. So bolt at port. Bolt at port. This is where the ank goes. The ank is the anchor. The anchor to the port, to bolt at the port. So the first thing that goes in on this bow, and like this totally out of sync. This actually sits more central when you do it properly. But you've got the ank, and this bolts onto the port. Then you've got the curly bit of the Eye of Horus, and I don't know how I did it at the time, but and the pupil sits on Brecon, be recon. Okay, this down here, this little piece here sits on Abertillery. I'll have to show you it again on my map, but Abertillery sits there, and Abertillery is an anagram of be artillery. Obviously we're making a giant bow, so it makes complete sense that it sits there. When you draw this line now, it crosses over the River Severn actually. It's very difficult to show you on here, but this meets at Swindon. So you've got, yeah, Key, K-E-Y-Y-E-S, Key, yes, Seek, wins nod, gets the go ahead, in other words, that's for me, as well as winning the nod to do it. I also won the nod because I worked out where the biblical land of Nod in Genesis is. Okay, so when you right, this is where it gets really crazy. You follow this along and it goes to London, and it just sits just around, well, we basically it hits Lewisham. Which is, I am Welsh. Bizarre, but true. What I didn't know at this point, not only am I just using this key, but this becomes a pyramid, a trident, a bow, the Star of David, Solomon's seal. What else is in there? There's literally about, well, so far about at least nine symbols, all inside this one thing, or Leviathan. The eye actually, when it comes, this is an awful drawing, but it comes out and it used, well, I'd have to show the big map, but I need a better place to do it. So that's why I really need the help. So I don't know if you can, just so, back a touch. Right, now this is where it gets bizarre, because not only is this, Lewisham has the only stone circle in London, and the stones from it came from Mount Struy in Scotland. Now we've got Key, yes, Seek, wins nod, I am Welsh. Well, this says is true. So obviously at the time I didn't actually realise, but this is obviously pointing out, this is telling, well, it's me basically that he's talking about, but I didn't realise at the time. So it is true. So it is true. I've won the nod. I got the keys. I've Seek, and obviously since this lot happened, this though. This was just over a year ago, last January, that I got this. Okay, but what this amounts to really, there's another line runs. Yeah, here's the other great part. Sorry, I tell a lie with that. It's not a lie, but this line goes straight through. Now, if you run, then when you run a line from St. David's Head, or the Divine Identifications Head, which identifies the Holy Head, this line, runs through Abertillery, and that's where Lewisham is, like a pair of, almost like a pair of tweezers picking up the stones. So when you pick up the stones came from Mount Struy in Scotland, gives you the is true. So Key, yes, Seek, wins nod, I am Welsh is true. Okay, that's the beginning of the bow. As I say, this later then turns into the star and everything else. You've got Leviathan, there's an angel fish in there, that's another one. Again, I can't do it here, I just need somebody to help me really. Somebody willing to do it would be fantastic. Okay, this seems like a long way to go round, but this all relates as well now to Carrow Hill. Because this bow, the initial bow, is the bow of Sagittarius. Right, how does that connect? Right. So the big bow, I hope I spelled this right, is a message. So Sagittarius is the archer, and he says, as I, let's do it, as I, it, as I it at G Roos. So what he's saying is, basically, he is the archer, his is the great big bow, but as I it at G Roos. Well, at G Roos is another bow, Orion's bow, which I'll come to now. But the arrow, and this is where Sagittarius, this is where it gets crazy, because there's another star constellation called hang on, let me just check that so I've got it right. Sagittarius, that's right, and this one is called the arrow. Well, this is G as I it. Hang on, G as I. No, G. Hold on, bear with me, folks. As I G it. Oh right, as I G it at. As I at G Roos. As I G it at. As I G it at. This is, well, it's the arrow. Well, it's the C Arrow Hill. So this is where the arrow is hidden. So the bow is telling us as G. So Sagittarius bow is as I it at G Roos. Well, I'll show you the bow now where the arrows and where the arrow sits in this. I spelt that wrong, I'm sure I have. Sagittarius. Well, that's why. There we go. Sorry, that's right. That was what was confusing me. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Sorry, right. I'm going to start this again. Bear with me, folks. Right, okay. It's S-A. Let's get the spelling right on that one. G-I-T-T-A. Right, this is the name of the constellation, and it breaks down. That's all that. I'm sorry, I've got it. As G it at. My apologies. As G it at. So as it's basically, so Sagittarius is as G. You can see this is confusing, folks, so bear with me. As I it at G Roos, and then as G it at, and then it's the, which is the arrow. So it's at the, which is, so it's C it's at C Arrow Hill. So Carrow Hill, and I've gone away around this a long-winded way. So Carrow Hill is the place of the C Arrow Hill. Is the star constellation Sagittarius, the arrow. Right, I made a meal of that, folks, apologies, but I think you can see where it went. Right, the next one. Right, this one. Right, clavier discoid. Actually, right, let's do the bow. Right, so because we've got more to this. Right, so let's do the bow. So the first coordinate is Grey Hill. The second coordinate is Llanmelin. This is the key fort. And the third coordinate is G Roos. This really does sit like as a, you know, perfectly as a bow. And that was G Roos. I'll show you why it's Orion's bow now, but effectively what you do is you join this up square, and then what you have literally is Carrow Hill, which is the C Arrow Hill, well, the arrow hill is that one because this is where the arrow's going. And what you do is you run the line through it. This is your bowstring or band, as you'll see that now. So this makes, basically this makes the bow, and this is Orion's bow. How do I know this? Because right in the middle of it is a place called Clan Fair Discoid. Now, what's incredible about this is, for some unknown reason, even though Yara's obviously accounting for this and he's much sharper than them, but he's there's another code within a code on this. Right, first thing is Clan Fair. Well, the Clan Fair are the Pharaohs of Cornwall. So they're the fair clan. Right, okay. So the Pharaohs. So this is the bow of the Pharaohs, basically. So this is Orion. Now, and this is where it gets bizarre. This is how Orion fits into this. Right, in the Bible, right, let me just read a few passages from it. Okay. Just to clear up as well. Right, the letter D was added to Clavier Discoid. It was actually until, I think, you can Google this, but they added this D in something like, I think it was in the 60s. And originally this was actually Clavier Discoid. Well, Clanfair is, you only switch those these two letters, and this Clanfair is code. Well, the code is the pharaohs of Egypt. Now, and this is where Orion comes in, because when you break this up, Orion is Or-I-On. So this goes so you're on one side or the other. Okay, and I'll show you the two sides now, because it's a mixture. Firstly, yeah, let's just do right. Okay, so Orion. So what we do to get the options of Orion, this is where it gets really bizarre, is we take right Clan Fair, and we take the Caro. C-A-R is actually arc. When you change it round, is arc row. Okay. So right, this is where it gets a little bit complex. But what we literally do is we change. So the actual two options, you take the fair row or the arc clan. So we got two options, and join the Ark clan, which is the Silures or the Israelites. It says, I'm going to use the word clan because the clan double L is just a deception to make it look like churches, but as you've watched the other videos you will see that. So you're either on the Ark clan team or on the Pharaohs, or the Pharaoh team. Now the Pharaoh is the worship of the false dollar, the money and everything else. So you're either on the Ark clan Silures or the Pharaoh. This is why this is Orion's bow. And right, let's tie this into the Bible and the code. Right, Job 9:9. 9 being Silures, 9 being me and Sion. So again, this all ties in, and doing the job, which I'm doing. This where even that's coded. Which maketh, this is the passage, which maketh Arcturus, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. Well, the chambers of the south, this is the chambers of South Wales, basically. And right, Grey Hill is G. Yeah. So you've got that's your grey, year hill. Now this is Arcturus, which is coded because it's Arcturus. So what it's telling me is Arcturus. obviously, instead of having these straight lines cutting through, what it's telling me to do is, instead of having those, is to, there's your arc to G roost, your arc to roost. So that's that. Okay, so we've got the Orion, so you've got the options of being on the effectively it's the Silures, or the Israels, the Silures following his rules, or you can follow the Pharaoh, spiritual Egypt, worship the false idol, or the idol Ra of Egypt, and the dollar. It's just all relating to the worship of money and earthly things. So there's your Orion. So you got your Orion on bow. Okay. So this one's that's your Arcturus. This is your Lambda discoid, or is code is Orion, because that's where the bow, and it's all about the pharaohs. You've got Jerus is obviously a constellation anyway, which is Jerusalem. Spelled right, yeah, Jerusalem, which is obviously Coent. So you've got Coent, Lamelin, and what was amazing as well, this one is Corona, very relevant for the time as well, which is by no accident. Borealis. And this is where it gets crazy, because this is O-A corn bow. You don't need a W. When you put a W on bow, in reality it becomes a bow, but bow is real. Oh wait, corn bow is real. Well, there's corn because you've got, these are the two corns. You've got the bad corn of Egypt basically, and what was Cornwall. Doesn't mean people from Cornwall are bad. Same as anywhere I mentioned. Like it makes no odds. This is not about the people now. This is about things in the past and what's gone on, and all about identifying the land. But there you got. So you got your Corona Borealis as well. Right. Okay. So. Right, the clan bit. Right, as I say, yeah, I never miss an opportunity. They've obviously put a D in there, so okay, clan fair. So all and fair. Right, all and fair. You want to? Right, that's mad. Okay, all and show me. This is just showing me this now. All and fair. If you want to play like that, then we'll use your D as code as well. Okay, so now we've got D is, again, switch those round, got D is code. Okay, what is the D code? Well, not only is it and a D code, which it is. Right, just to show you. Where are we? Which one? Oh, right, okay, it is Isaiah 30:17. Okay, it says, well, it basically mentions something for an, written down the whole thing here, but something about fleeing or something, but and leave it as an ensign on a hill. Now, bear in mind, on Clanmelin, right here, is a great big key, obviously the key to the Combined Nations safe code. Well, the Combined Nations safe code, well, the key is an ensign for one. I'm going to leave a gap, but it's an ensign on a hill, and this is the ensign on the hill. But if you want to use the D is code, because all and fit, all and fit, you want to do it, then we will. So what he's saying is stick the D in there. So now we have an ensign. But if this is the Combined Nations safe code, then this is the end sign on a hill. The combination safe code for the end, basically on the hill. Okay, I could go a heck of a lot further into this, but I think I've probably covered enough. No, I'm not. I'm going to break the bands, but right, okay. Bear in mind now, just by here, we've decoded that Park Seymour is the Unicorn Mon, and I'm the Unicorn Mon. Right. Job 13. Right, this is where it gets crazy. Oh, firstly, I'll point out that just north of here, around somewhere around here, is a place called Cribbo. Okay. AU again is gold. CRIB is your crib. This is the golden crib. This is the crib where the ark is kept. There. And there's a road as well, which is where the star constellation Dorado comes in, because it's due road. Right, now this road, well, there actually is two roads, but we're going to do the roads because one follows on and leads to the other. Okay, so you've got the crib of gold. Now the reason I give you, let's point this one out, is because Job 39:9, will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? That's where I abide. That is the crib. So the unicorn of Mon, unicorn Mon, which is Marco G. Roos, or Marco Roos, Marco Recon, you've seen that the whole list goes down. Well, abiding by the crib. There's your crib, and the crib of gold, where the ark is kept in. As I've already pointed out, this is Ark Melin as well. Carmel is Ark Melin, where the ark is in there. Again, the constellation of Cancer cuts this one, and ironically, when you put overlay it with Cancer, not only have you got the Corona Borealis there, the bow is real, but that is actually, as an overlaid star, is Acellus Borealis. Acellus, bow is real again. So you not only get it once, you get it twice with an overlaid Cancer symbol, the Cancer star constellation. But I don't want to go confuse it. Okay, so will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by the crib? Well, the unicorn at Park Seymour is living in Jerusalem, which abides by the crib of gold. So I do abide by the crib of gold. So again, that ties up with the biblical passage. Now, canst thou bind the unicorn with the band in the furrow, or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Right, canst thou bind the unicorn with the band? Well, right, bands are also men. So the band, there's two bands at play here. There's the band of the Silures and there's the band of the Pharaohs. This is like the Pharaohs and the Silures in a, well, I don't want to use the word spiritual, but in a war of souls. They're trying to fight over the souls of the people. So canst thou bind the unicorn with the band in the furrow? Now, what else is the band? Well, in archery, even though we call it a bowstring, in ancient days, and it's still used today, this was actually called the band. and even in archery now, I checked it, they use a training band. Well, it would be, because you pull it back, it is a band when you fire it off, obviously. So canst thou bind the unicorn with the band in the furrow, or will he harrow, which is his rule. See, harrow is to see the harrow in the hill. The valleys after thee. Well, this actually sits on a valley. Even though this is one side, it is actually, there's a valley in between that leads up to this. So the harrow in the valley is the sea harrow in the valley with the secret H. And we have got something else to show you with that as well, actually. Oh, Dorado Do Road as well, sorry. Now, the road that runs from Cribbo runs past Lamelin. This is the road that runs through the valley, funny enough. Leads all the way down, comes to the main road, and then you come off there into Coent, and Coent joins on with Justo Road. Well, Justo, actually, here's another one, sorry, is the... Right, Justo is the Gemini constellation. And this is G-me in I. In other words, he's just telling me, he's letting me know, well, he's not using his tetragrammaton, his remote anagram, download all this, so he's telling me he's in me and he's around me and he's giving me this information, even though he's not personally giving it me as in speaking it now. He spoke it in the past, as bizarre as that sounds, but it clearly is. As you can see, all this is planned. Okay, so there, but this is obviously, right, this ties to the Dorado, so Do Road. So you've got the Crib of Gold Road, which runs past the Crib of Gold, where the Ark of the Covenant is kept. It runs down, comes into Justo Road. Well, the place Justo is also wedge 2. Well, not only does it also wed the Phoenix as well, there's another constellation which gives you your one fix. One fix is the crane, because the crane, G-Roos is known as the crane. So the Phoenix, or the one fix, the crane onto G-Roos, pulls it out the crane, effectively marries the bride. You marry the bride of Jerusalem, but it's, as well as a bride, it's a bride is actually a pride in Old Testament terms, but ultimately let's leave it at that. So Justo is actually wedge 2. So it weds 2. So it weds it weds 2 roads. It weds Justo Road, weds 2 roads, and the Crib of Gold Road. So it joins the 2, and they both meet at the Phoenix, because we also wed 2 there. We wed the 2 and marry the bride of Jerusalem, basically. Okay, like I say, there is so much more to these outside of this as well. Going back to where I live, Kalian is the chameleon, I'll leave those for now. A bit more. Oh, just one, the one last point I wanted to make as well. Right, I hope you're happy with this, and if this is coincidence, well, you tell me, is it not? So I married basically, and this incidentally, obviously let's do the bow again. So you got Grail, you got so that's your Arcturus, this is your, that's G-Roos, so you got your Arcturus through Lamelin, then you got your Sea Arrow Hill, that fires off, and the place this hits, amazingly, is a place called, on the other side of the country, Mablethorpe. Okay, so the passage, which makes Arcturus, Orion and Pleiades in the chambers of the south. So these are the chambers of the south, but it's firing up over across the country. Well, this one is L, B, there's no E on there, I can't fit, right. B, the, T, H, E, and then we got the ROP. So all I'm going to do is use the fix on E of the Phoenix code. Check back if you haven't seen that, but basically it's an anagram of fix on E. So when I do that, it's am, L, B, the rope. L being Welsh, am Welsh, B the rope. Okay, well the rope comes from the crane, but again I've got to go into my mind map. Again, I need somebody to help me really to get this, to do it correctly. But basically am, L, B the rope. So this is the place of the rope. What is the rope? Well, the biggest giveaway is in the Pleiades there is a star called Me Rope. And the Pleiades, I need to do this. Okay. Right, so we've got the Orion, we've got the Arcturus. So there's your G-Roos, your Arc. So this passage now only has the Pleiades. Well, this is Please ID. So it's Please ID, Me the rope, basically. There's a lot more to this, because if I'm going to break this down again, but just know there's Me rope, Sterope. They're 2 of the stars. I won't give too much away yet because it's a big claim, the last one, and I'm not quite ready to do it yet. But Me rope, and that's set rope. Basically, you just change that round to set rope. So Please ID, Me the rope, set rope. So you've got your Arcturus, your Orion, and your Pleiades. Please Arcturus, Orion, Please ID, Me rope, steroid, which is set rope. And I'll come back to that, but okay. So we bond it with a band in the furrow, 2 bands, and we fired the arrow in the valley after the. Canst thou bind, right? Job 38:31. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Well, the unicorn comes along, ploughs the furrows. with the band in the furrow. So he's used his horn, the unicorn, he's flicked up, the furrows are basically rows where the rows have been dug, and I think this actually relates to the plough. He's ploughed the rows. Oops, spell that wrong. So the plough is probably, well it is, I'm not sure exactly where it sits, but it certainly sits in this area, somewhere in this area, but either way, he ploughed the fields basically, the unicorn with his thing, and he's basically, not only has he bound it, but he's released the bands, where are we, canst thou bind the unicorn with the band in the furrow, will he out in the valley, canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion. So with his horn, he's digging up the furrows, and what he's done, he's found the band of Orion and he's fired it. So he shot the arrow off, and where does it land? It lands Pleiades, the Pleiades, which I always get these muddled up, but it's basically Pleiades. But it's Pleiades, we rope, the stair rope, set rope. This is all to do with the crane and the rope, because there's again, G Roos is basically a square. And what it is, it's called the crane for a reason, because this is a construct Zion site, and we're reconstructing Zion and using the tools of the Phoenix, the one fix E, secret H mat, or the secret H, the one fix, all these are different tools for the construct Zion site, because we're reconstructing Zion. This actually sets as a crane. It goes out all the way up there, and then it starts to come back in and goes through Porthelion down into the mine of EU rope. EU rope. There's your rope, and it sits with the GIB Ra altar. That's another constellation actually. I can't think which one off the top of my head, but it's I can't think, but well, never mind, we'll come to that. But this is Europe. But this is effectively a crane. You've got your main there, which is one of your wheels. I've also noticed there's something called 5 lanes, and there's an Egyptian thing with 5 things on it, and I think that has something to do with it as well, although I'd rather not get all tied up in this at the moment. But as you can see, it's a crane. It's called the crane for a reason, because it goes up, and there's a place here also, roughly somewhere down here, called Screen's End. Which when you just throw that to the screen end, sorry, well when you just re-put the S to the end, you've got the crane's end. No accident. And it lines up somewhere along the lines with that there, just showing you at the crane ends. So the burr goes up there, the rope goes there, this goes through World's End actually, which is part to do with the prophecy of it. That's World's End. And the place is Gochlan. And just to show you that this is about the churches, because at the World's End, this is Llangollen, this is World's End, Llangollen. At the World's End, the double L and the clan will be G-O-N-E, will be gone. In other words, the reuniting of the tribes. The double L will be gone, and all that will be left are the clans again. This is the reuniting of the tribes. So at the World's End, as you can see, the double L and the clan will be gone. So the double L of the clan is gone actually. Will be G-O-N-E, gone, and then we'll reinstate the clans. But that's another story. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, because this will go on for days and days if I keep going. Hope that enlightened you people, and as you can see, there is no accident. Get right with the Creator. It's very real, and the reason all this is, I've been able to do this and break these codes and show you these codes and what they mean, should tell you that, and this is not me doing it. I'm not, no way am I clever enough for this. If you want to believe that, then it's up to you, but I can only pass on the message, and that's what I'm here to do. Anyway, till next time, thank you, and please like, subscribe, and share this video if you would, and hopefully we get this message out there, and hopefully we'll all be safe in the future.